Hey guys. So first of all, I wanted to thank everyone for just all of the encouragement on the last video. I will tell you that just that encouragement helped me so much. A few of you put recommendations on there, most of which I already do. One person that I have to really thank actually let me know about something. I can't remember if she said she has it or someone she knows. I think it was her or him. I don't remember. Sorry. I know I thanked you in the comments, but they listed this. I'll put it right here on the screen. And when I looked it up, it sounded exactly like me the past several years. So we'll see what I can do about that. But ultimately, I'm feeling better. I'm moving forward. We got lots to do. As you see, all of the wire for the sod, this gopher wire, is all in, all the way up. We were out here till after dark last night. I had one of my lights set up so we could do this. My nephews and my sister-in-law helped me get it done. It was a lot of fun, but the best part is it's done. And now we just need to put the topsoil on top, and then the sod gets here Friday. So depending on what time the sod gets here Friday, we'll be putting it in Friday or Saturday. So I'm super excited about that. I know you're only seeing the top of my shirt here, and everyone always asks what my shirts say. This one says this. And I would say I'm more often not an adult than I am an adult, but you probably figured that out by now. Yesterday we went to the drive-through nursery that I always talk about, Briggs Tree Company, and I got some tropicals. I want to do some of the containers in the back with some tropicals, and we also have some spots to fill in, and possibly planting a new bed. So I got some irrigation, coleus, and some sun patience, just different colors. I love this variegated leaf, it looks really tropical. So we'll be filling in this bed here where there's any empty spots. And then this bed here, all of this is going to come out and be planted out here in the tropical garden. And so we'll be putting some patience in here as well. Take a look at this tree we planted last summer in this big open space out here. This is a gold medallion tree. I don't think it's getting enough water. I'm going to be putting drip here shortly, but usually these will just be big yellow spikes. Right now the bottom ones are blooming and then dying off before the top ones bloom. But that will eventually shade most of this area, which will allow us to grow a lot more tropicals. And speaking of drip, this morning I'm going to be adding drip to a lot of the areas, pots mainly, that don't have it, because the heat's coming. It's going to be in the 80s this week. It's the first week we've had consistent 80 degrees. And so I need to make sure things are watered, and we're going to be going on vacation in about 4 weeks. And so I want everything to be watered while we're gone. And maybe I'll take you with me a little bit and show you kind of how I do some of this different drip irrigation. I do have a video I will link down in the video description if you want more in-depth information on it. And I think I'm going to start with the citrus pots here. So the first thing I have to do is remove this from the pot. I don't want the tube to come up like this. I want to hide it. Excuse me. So I gotta take the orange out, the lemon out, and run this through one of the drain holes. Put this little connector here into the drip tube. This tube has drips every six inches, I believe, 8 inches. Plug that into the tube I put up through the bottom of the pot. Then I'm going to take one of these and plug the end of this. Just make sure it's in a circle in here. And you can use a little landscape staple to hold them in place. Just like that. Now the tubing in either pot is not attached to anything, so we're going to have to go over here and look for a main line that we can tap into. Okay, so the main line basically is buried. It runs through this bed and then it goes down through the tropical area. And then I just have 1/4-inch tubing going to all these plants. So I think the easiest way to do it, here's the 1/2 inch right here, is to splice in here and run it along the front edge of this stone wall. That way I don't have to worry about digging up the gravel and trying to bury it. It's that easy. So I'm going to finish up the rest and I'll catch up with you in a few minutes. Okay, it's a lot of hours later, but it's way lighter than it looks. But it's nighttime almost. And look what happened. The topsoil is in, at least in the front. I've got to get some more bags for up here. And then on this side, I may or may not need a couple more bags to fill in this area. But if it looks this good brown, think of with the lawn. All right, I'm going in. I'll see you tomorrow. Looks just as good this morning. So today, I'm going to finish this area here. Like I said, I probably will need a few more bags for this area and then some for the other end. I've got a few more places to add drip to. Up here in the cottage garden, I did this wash tub here. I did all 4 of the blueberry pots plus the climbing rose. Of course, on camera, I did these 2 pots. I can't remember if I did that pot on camera or not, but it's done. That's done, that's done. All these pots here, the trees. Even though these larger apple and plum trees aren't going to be here permanently, they still need to be watered until the orchard is ready for them. Not sure if I told you, a couple weeks ago, Bella, she likes eggs. I had accidentally left the egg door open. And I went out there the next morning, she had eaten probably a dozen, shells and all. Cleaned it out. Got to go down and check and see if there's some hay at the corral or if I need to bring some more back. See, we've split up the chores now. I do all the morning feeding, and then Emily and Noah do the evening. But we never know if the other person left enough for the next day or not, or the next night. Hi, Daisy Days. Hi. I always thought sheep poop was little round balls like rabbit poop. But it looks like someone opened a can of black beans and dumped them on the ground.
Hey guys, me again. I wanted to jump in here. In the last video, I had told you that I was making a video for Brian, and thank you so much everybody that's already posted videos. If you posted a video within the first 2 hours of it going live, we probably didn't get it. I have found that the link wasn't working properly. I have fixed the link and it should be working properly now. So if you want to go ahead and give it another try, just a refresher, 5 to 10 seconds of if you want to say anything to Brian, maybe something you've learned or just something you want to say to him. We're putting together a little video to celebrate 1 million subscribers. So thank you again, everybody that's already posted, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
All right, it's already getting warm. So I'm going to set the time-lapse camera up here and just start unloading these bags. It was pretty satisfying last night to see it slowly being just covered up by nice, rich-looking soil. So hopefully it's the same for you. That didn't take long at all. And I had 3 bags left over. So I know I'm going to get some questions, so I'm just going to answer them up front. I didn't care what brand I used. I got whatever Lowe's had on the first visit and Home Depot had on the second visit. So there's 2 different brands here, both called Topsoil. Ingredients: sandy loam, composted steer manure, and recycled forest products. So the only issue, and no, it's not organic. I was not going to pay the money they wanted for all these bags under lawn. The only issue that might be here is grazon in the composted steer manure. However, we're not growing any broadleafs right here. This is all fescue grass, so it's not going to be bothered by the grazon. And there's nothing downstream that's edible that will be bothered by it either. So just being practical, just being honest, not going to pay for organic for a lawn. Also, I put about 2 inches down, a 2-inch layer over the gopher wire, and I used the old push broom because I started with a rake, but that was a little bit strong. It drug too much because I had to use it upside down. If I used it with the tines of the rake pointing down, it would catch on the gopher wire. So upside down, it just pulled too much of the topsoil with it. And what I found was if I flipped the push broom over and used the hard side, I could pull a little bit more. And if I wanted a more delicate approach, I used the bristles. And so that gave me a nice, smooth top layer. All right, I'm gonna go finish a couple of the other pots that need drip, and I'll check back in. All right, it's early the next day, 6:15 actually, and the sod just got dropped off. I don't know, does that look like enough to you? It's supposed to be 480 square feet, which, I mean, should be okay. It's a nice overcast morning, but don't let that fool you. It's going to get up into the mid 80s today, maybe upper 80s. So I'm going to have a quick bite to eat and then just get out here and start laying the sod. All right, all fueled up and ready to get to work. I'm going to start right here and work my way up to the bigger part of the lawn. And the only tool that I need is an old serrated knife. Okay, I'm almost done with the whole thing. It's only been 3 hours. You can see part of it behind me. Sneak peek. So, taking a water break here, and I thought I would kind of fill you in on what's happened in the last 24 hours. You know, in the last video, I was talking about anxiety and about my symptoms, and a lot of you said that you might have experienced those symptoms, but they still could be heart-related, heart attack symptoms. And while I was feeling good after the last video, I started to, the problems kept going, and they kept actually on a roller coaster, getting worse and better, worse and better. And so yesterday afternoon, I just decided I better get checked out. You know, it's better safe than sorry, and if something happens and I could have prevented it. So, made the decision at 7 o'clock last night. Not the best timing. We went to the ER and checked in with my symptoms, and I gotta hand it to Kaiser in San Marcos. Unbelievable. It was so efficient, so fast. Best emergency room visit I ever had. Of course, the last emergency room visit I had, it changed my life. But anyway, that notwithstanding, they did an EKG. That was normal. They were going to do a blood test. The blood test was going to take 2 hours. It was 2 blood tests, 2 hours apart. So that's why we were there for so long. They did a chest x-ray. They did a CT scan of my heart. And we got there at 7:30. We were there 3 hours. And I have to say, the whole time I was there, of course, I was a ball of anxiety. And, but I needed that. I needed that whole situation, that whole experience at the emergency room to go well. And it did. Doctor came back in, said all the tests came back fine. It's not cardiac. He said it's either indigestion, anxiety, bit of both, and sent me home. And I was up at 6:15 this morning. Got home at 11:30 last night, 11 o'clock, I guess. I was up at 6:15 this morning to meet the sod guy, and now 3 hours later, I have a new lawn. So I'm going to show you in a second. So, feeling great today. I have to say, I believe that the whole thing was anxiety. It probably started with indigestion, but then the anxiety makes the indigestion worse and longer, because now that the anxiety was cut off last night at 10:30 with the doctor's announcement, I don't have any more indigestion, no more tingling. So I got a couple more squares of lawn to put in, and then I'll show you the finished product. All right, it's the next morning. The light was really harsh when I finished, and I wanted to wait until it was better to show you. And then yesterday evening we were gone. So, you ready to see? What do you think? overall, I am so happy with the way it turned out. It looks so good. You know, it really sets off now the flowers. It doesn't look like a succulent garden anymore. We do have a bit of sod left, so I was trying to figure out what to do with that. So I think what we're going to do with that is put it over here on this side of the driveway, so that when you come in, nice grass over here and nice grass over here. And we've got just enough, I think, to do a section all the way down to that gate. However, what that means is I've got to put sprinklers in here. I've got to put gopher wire in here, topsoil, and the sod pretty much all today. They want you to lay the sod within around 24 hours of it being delivered, which was yesterday morning. So, thank goodness, Joel's coming over today. So I'm going to go in, finish editing this video, and then we'll show you that part and some other things on the next video. See you then.